How to crush your competition, how to crush your fingerprinting competition, how to crush your competition when it comes to bigger companies, smaller companies, or just regular competition, even if they're not a fingerprinting business, if they are a mailing and shipping store and they offer fingerprinting, how to carve your niche so that everybody comes to you for your fingerprinting services. That's what this presentation is going to be about. All right, so 3 reasons why your competition is beating you. It really boils down to 3 main things on why your competition is beating you in the first place. Number 1, they have more money. Number 2, they have more time. And then number 3 is they have more brand equity, right? So when I say brand equity, I mean more people know about them. More people know that they are the business to go to get fingerprinted. More people know that if anybody needs any type of background check or fingerprinting need, that their brand pops into their heads. How do we compete, right? How do we compete with these companies that have more time, they have more money, and they have more brand equity? Well, we find ways to leverage ourselves as the new game in town. Now, being the new game in town, being a new company, being a new business, or just offering a new service, there's always that part of your business or part of offering this where you're going to slowly creep up, right? However, there's 2 specific things that you could leverage when you're starting your business from scratch, or you're offering a new service, or let's say you're just starting a new location. Let's say you have 3, 4 locations already, you're starting a new one. There's 2 key leverage points that you can use to beat out the competition and to be the best in the marketplace. Leverage point number 1 is what we're going to be going over, and it's what everybody here has, which is a new suite of digital assets to fill in the gaps that your competition doesn't currently fill. Now, when I say a digital asset, I mean basically not like a cryptocurrency, a website, a Google My Business, paid advertising campaigns if you're doing that, if you choose to do paid advertising for your business. Those are like the digital asset suites or the digital asset suite that you're going to be using, that you can take the information that your competition is not currently giving to their customers or to the general public and use that information in order to fill in the gaps on your own website. Now, that's super important, because if you have your competition's website, or if you have your competition or another company is not giving a customer the information that they need in order to make an informed decision, and you find that out and you add it to your array of, digital assets, your website, your Google My Business, or your paid advertising campaigns, that's going to allow you to fill in the gaps that they currently do not fill. And the way you do that, obviously, is with those digital assets, that website, the Google My Business, and the paid advertising campaigns. But how do we actually fill the gaps? So there's something that I've kind of come up with over the past couple of weeks called asset hacking. So if anybody here has ever built like a sales funnel or watched anything on sales funnel, they talk about funnel hacking. I like to talk about asset hacking. And asset hacking is basically the process of sniffing out your competition and pretending to be a client and pretending that you want services from your competition in order to see what they do that's right, what they do that's wrong, and how you can do it better, and how you can fill in the gaps of what they don't currently do. There's 3 things that you can really asset hack. Number 1 is going to be phone answering. How many times have you called a business, called a contractor, or called somebody and they didn't answer? I know myself, I've called people, I've called the contractors, businesses, and nobody answers. But then what happens, right? Nobody answers, and then maybe 10 minutes later, like they're looking at their phone, they call you back. Too late, I moved on already, I found somebody else, right? So we all know that that's happened to us. I guarantee you right now, if you call your competition, the 3 biggest players in your area with fingerprinting, and that's even if you have the 3 big players. Some areas there's like no competition at all, so you don't have to worry about this. But I guarantee you, if you call the 3 biggest competitors in your area right now, you will find something that they do wrong when they answer the phone. And that's if they even have a phone number in the first place, right? You'll see it's craziness sometimes. Everybody knows what we're talking about. The things that you'll see that people are lacking when it comes to phone answering is, number 1, do they answer it right away? That's a given. Number 2, how do they answer the phone? That is super important, because the first 10 seconds of a customer's interaction with the business will maintain how they think about the business for the rest of the eternity of when they do business with that business. So if you call a restaurant, let's say sitting down, you're ready to order food and you're like, let's try a new place tonight, right? You call a place, somebody answers, hello, are you ordering food? Like from that, like, no, like you're not ordering food for that. Or let's say you get somebody who's real pissy on the phone. They're like, hello, this is Joe's Pizza. How may I help you? Like, you're not going to enjoy that food. That could be the best food in the world. That food could be cooked by Gordon Ramsay himself, and you're going to think it's shit. And that's because, excuse my language, but it's true. That's what's going to happen, because you're going to have that first 10 seconds of interaction with that business. And you're going to say that this was a poor experience. This was a bad way to be greeted by this business. Everything else afterwards, I'm expecting it to be just like these first 10 seconds. Number 2, the e-commerce process. Now, the e-commerce process, this is a little bit different than the phone answering hacking that you're going to be doing. The e-commerce process really comes down to one thing. How is it that you're paying this business online? Hacking their e-commerce asset, this is super easy because it's either they have it or they don't. They have a way that you could pay online or they don't. Most businesses, most websites, they do not have a make a payment button at the bottom. Like, that's like pretty more rare for a business to have. Number 3, email answering. Super simple. How fast do they answer an email? Do they answer an email? And does their email address, when they answer, go to your spam folder? Stuff like that. I know it seems like elementary, but it's important. Email answering is, if you fill out the contact form on their website, how fast do they answer it? That's super important. If you're trying to become a customer and they don't answer that email within 45 minutes to an hour, like that's bad. If they don't answer it within 45 minutes to an hour, that's bad. Because imagine if you email a company because you want to pay them money for a service and you don't hear back from them for 8 hours. That customer's gone. You're never getting that customer again. Leverage number 2. Leverage number 2 is an effort to compound your clients, compound your customers. And what that means is, how do you take one customer and turn them into 1,000? Compounding a client, 3 main ways that you do it: reviews, strategic partnerships, and then follow-ups. Number 1, when you get a customer and you get a client, if they have a good experience, like, you must do anything and everything in your power to have them leave a review, because reviews are what drives your local search engine optimization. Reviews are what drive your local search engine optimization. I'm going to say it one more time. Reviews are what drives your local SEO. You could pay a company $1,100 a month to do local SEO on your website. It will not have as good as an effect as if you just get reviews on your Google My Business, just plain and simple. So that is like leverage number 1 for compounding your clients, is make sure that if you have a happy customer, a happy client, you make sure that they leave a review on your Google My Business listing so that they can tell all your prospective clients. Number 2 is strategic partners. Now, strategic partners will not work for every customer or client that you have, but it is something that you must ask every single customer that you have. If you are not doing this, you are possibly leaving hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table. Now, here's how you do this when it comes to compounding a client. This is super important. I'm going to leave an example. Let's say you have a person who needs to get fingerprinted for a real estate license. Now, let's say they're selling real estate in New York, right? They have to go to a government contractor. They have to go through the state of New York contractor to get fingerprinted for their New York state real estate license. That's number 1. However, they don't want to sell real estate in just New York. They want to sell real estate in 4 other states. That's going to require them to get like 4 fingerprint cards, right? So let's say they come to your business and they're like, hey, listen, I need 4 fingerprint cards because I have to send them to all these states and get real estate licenses in them. Oh, cool. Perfect. Now, you service that customer, make sure they have a great experience, get them to leave a review. Step number 2, simple question. Excuse me, John, Jane, like, you said you needed 4 cards for 4 different real estate like licenses in 4 different states. I got to ask you, like, how did you find out about this? Who's doing this right now? Because I've had this a few other times, and it's just very interesting to me that you're, applying for real estate licenses in 4 different states. How come? People love talking about themselves. They love it. I mean, look at me right here on the coaching call. Like, people love it. So just ask them a question about themselves. They will start telling you the craziest stuff. And all of that information is extremely important for your business, because this is what could happen in a scenario like that. Let's say Jane Doe, she's getting 4 different real estate licenses, 4 different states. You ask her that question. You're the business owner. You just fingerprinted her. You gave her 4 fingerprint cards. You're asking the question, hey, Jane, you're getting certified for 4 states. How did you find out about this? What did you know? I'm super interested in this. This is cool. Oh yeah. So I was selling real estate in New York for a while. Everybody was retiring. They were moving to Florida. And I remembered that when I originally went to the first real estate school to get my license, they told me about this process of getting, certified with different states, being able to sell, real estate and represent people in different states. So I decided to go for Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, and Maryland. So I would just want to take over the whole East Coast, because everybody's moving out of New York. They're moving to these states, and I want to have the possibility to be able to sell real estate in all of these states, right? And, I remember a few people in my real estate class that I took a few years back, they were already doing this and they had this plan, and I just decided to follow this plan. Now, what did that person say that was super important to you, the fingerprinting business owner, on how you can compound them as a client? They said that, oh, I had other people in this real estate school. I took this real estate class. Where do you think are more clients like Jane Doe? Probably in that class. It would be safe to assume that there's more people who could be like Jane Doe, getting 4 fingerprint cards at a total value of probably about $100 per appointment. And you can probably archive those prints and grab another $250 on top of that. So that's a $350 lifetime value appointment right there for one person. You can compound them that way. But you can find out where did they come from? Where did they get this information? Where are more Jane Does? Well, the way you find out where more Jane Does are by asking Jane Doe where she came from. Now, number 3 on how you compound a client, very important. Number 3 is follow-ups. This arguably is more important than anything else. Follow-ups is how you get more reviews. Follow-ups is how you build more strategic partners. Follow-ups is how you just build your brand equity. Follow-ups. If you do not contact your customer after they have done business with you, you are leaving money on the table. Because what's going to happen when you fingerprint Jane Doe and you say oh yeah, my cousin, she owns a real estate school. That's where I got certified. She has 50 people a month roll on through the real estate school. All of them could use this service. Sweet. Give her my email address, connect me with her, tell her about my business. Cool. Awesome. Wonderful. You never meet Jane Doe again. You know what's going to happen to Jane Doe? She's going to leave your office, or if it's a mobile appointment, you guys are going to part ways, and she's going to forget, and she's not going to do it. And then all the work you just built on asking questions, building a partnership, this and that, goes straight into the garbage because you did not follow up with your customer. And that's super important. So follow-ups by email, text message, phone call. Phone call is the best way to do it. Just imagine this. Imagine you get fingerprinted out of business. Just one card. You go there, person super nice on the phone, took 15 minutes, you get a card, great, mail your card out, awesome, cool. Imagine 2 days after that, you're sitting down, you're driving, you get a phone call, you answer it, you're like, hey, how's it going? This is Dan, Dan speaking, how may I help you? Hey, Dan, how's it going? This is Jane with XYZ Fingerprinting. Oh, Jane, yeah, fingerprinted 2 days ago. Yeah, hey, listen, I just wanted to see, how did everything go with what you need to get fingerprinted for? Did you need any help with your application? Did you need anything, any assistance, any consultations, anything that we can help with? We just want to make sure that, what you got was correct and that, we helped you out. And, if anything, just hear some feedback from you and just wanted to call you and see how you're doing. Holy crap. Imagine if that were to happen. Number one, how good would you feel and how impressed would you be with that business? That's just craziness. Nobody does that. Number two, what are you going to be prompted to tell them if they do say that, if they do call you and follow up with you? you're going to be prompted to give them whatever it is that they're requesting. So if you're requesting information on how to be better as a business, like they're going to tell you flat out, they're going to say, yeah, you know what? It's like, I went on your website and it took like 4 clicks to make a payment. Like that should just be easier. Like, don't you think that should be easy? Great feedback. No, thank you very much. We'll work on that right away, because I guarantee you, if that person's telling you that, then 50 other people are thinking the same thing, so that's good feedback so that you can know how to be better. But the other thing is like, yeah, no, cool. Everything was great. Thank you so much. Like, this is super professional. Just give me a call back. Cool. Awesome. Hey, listen, do you know anybody else that need to be fingerprinted in the future? Like, we want to make sure you're good. We want to make sure that we took care of you, but like, do you know anybody in the future who would need this? I guarantee you 1000%. If that person does know somebody else who needs to be fingerprinted, my goodness, like they are going to tell you. They're going to do anything and everything in their power to connect you to that person. So imagine this example that I keep going off of Jane Doe, who's in real estate. Jane Doe, you and Jane Doe part ways. She gets busy. Real estate agents are either not busy or they're extremely busy. There's like no in between from what I've seen. And that usually makes them making money or they're not making money at all, but whatever, regardless. So let's imagine that you and Jane, you part ways. You never see Jane again, right? Never. She gets busy. Things happen. She never calls her cousin. She never emails her because she's got 1,000 different other things. Jane's got 2 kids. She's trying to start a real estate career. Husband is, off doing whatever job, or let's say she's just single right now. And she's just busy. Life happens. Like there's 1,000 other things that people would rather do rather than help some random person out with making a connection, right? They could just say, whatever, I'll do it eventually. And then they forget, they never do. Now, Jane gets a phone call 2 days after you originally spoke with her. Hey, Jane, how's it going? This is, Dan from XYZ Fingerprinting. Hey, Dan, how's it going? Yeah. Hey, cool. Listen, I wanted to make sure that those 4 fingerprint cards we did for you, like it's good. Did you send them out? Did you need help sending them out? Any application you need help with? Like, we just want to make sure that you had a good experience. Like anything we could do? No, but super professional. Give me a call back. Thanks so much for following up. I really appreciate that. Cool. Awesome. Oh, one last thing. Your cousin with the real estate school. We were ever able to like make that connection and send that back? Oh, crap. No, actually, I got so busy. Let me, you never know. Let me call her right now. Let me put her on 3-way. Holy crap. Like, let me shoot an email introduction over right now. What's your email again? I'll CC you on the email. Like, yeah. Perfect. What's your website address again? I'll pop it into my phone. I'll copy the link. I'll send it over to her. Like, a follow-up is probably what you're going to need to do in order to make that strategic partner connection, or a follow-up is what you're going to need to get a review out of that. If we look at this pyramid, who are we getting? We're getting the people at the bottom, right? Who do we want? We want the people at the top. We want the businesses, the agencies, we want the organizations that tell everybody at the bottom of the pyramid, go and get fingerprinted. That's what we want, right? Now, sometimes people at the top of the pyramid will be like big national organizations, and you may not be able to form a relationship with them, but maybe the person at the top of the pyramid could be a person who runs a real estate school. It could absolutely be. So get them to leave a review, find out where they came from, follow up to form a relationship with that from being the person who has all the other information on where your customers are. How long does this stuff actually take? Like, how long? How long do I expect to make $1 million a year? How long do I expect? Is this making sense to everybody? Like, is this your question right now? Like, how much time is this going to take? Like, how the hell am I going to do all this? Like, this is a lot of work. Like, how do I do this? Like, zero, absolutely zero. I will tell you why it's zero. Because it costs you everything to not do this. That's why we put zero. Because what's the time frame to beat my competition? Right? There is no time frame. It's either you're beating them or you're not. It's stuff that you do every day that beats your competition. Not, I have to follow up with, 4 different people, 7 times a day. And then after a month, like, I beat my competition. No, you never actually beat them. Like, you never actually like, haha, we won the race. Like, you're supposed to operate your business forever. Like, these are things that you need to do forever. The fact that you're on this presentation or watching this video, watching this recording means that you are beating your competition right now. your competition is not watching this. Your competition did not click on this video, did not join this call, did not look to seek this information. Like, your competition is not here. Everybody who's here is here. Everybody who's watching this is watching this. You're already beating them. So it's zero. It's instantaneous. It's happening. But if you do not do all this stuff, every slide that I'm going over right now, if you do not do this, you are not beating them.